So I've always kind of planned my life out, and I've always kind of figured by the time I was 25, wakeboarding was going to ruin me, and I'd, hang my wakeboard up and just surf the rest of my life. And here I am, 26. I've put a bit of, cross-training work off the water to stay healthy. And last year, I really decided I had an issue of I was trying to fix something. I think it was an ankle. My ankles were sore, so it got me started in stretching 30 seconds a day. And as I did it, I noticed more and more benefits. And so over time, I've just kind of adapted a couple of different things that I've really thought would help my wakeboarding. And so my other thought is, one, I'm wakeboarding longer now than I ever thought I would be. And I've got new goals of hopefully, making it strong till 30. And, who knows from there. But my other goal is just in life in general. I don't want to be 50 years old and, have my son surfing better than me. So my goal is I want to do things now that are part of life. It's going to be a part of my everyday life, and so that's why I keep my stuff short, because I want to be able to do this for the next 20 years and not have to dread doing something every day. So since I've started it, it's been insane, how many benefits that I've never known were there, and I look forward to, keeping it simple and staying in shape, off the water, training hard, on mountain bikes, whatever, but keeping that 3 minutes of stretching going, personally. And if I come to like stretching more for some reason, which I don't foresee, then I'll stretch longer. But until then, this has been what's working for me right now, and hope it helps someone else out there. We had here 30 seconds there, and we had another 30 seconds with the hamstrings and the lower back. That's 1 minute. 30 seconds per leg. 2 minutes. Then from there, we went 20 seconds staying low. 20, 30 seconds. And then from there, drop me for another 30 seconds. So what's that, 3 minutes? Not too bad. And if I feel like I want to stretch more on a given day, I'll go through, a couple other stretches. But that way it keeps it nice and simple. I know, normally I don't want to go stretch, but I know it's only 3 minutes.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting around with friends, we're sitting on the couch, I'll just jump on the floor for a couple minutes, or we're in the boat waiting for someone to get their vest on and their boots on. You've got 2 minutes at least. So there's really no reason why, you can't, sit on the back deck next to them and start a couple stretches. I go here. This is where I used to start. This was pain for me.
It still is pain for me.
And then after a week or so, I got to here, and that was a little bit better. So then this was extremely painful.
Where was the pain?
It was in your quads and then lower back too, and a little bit. By this point, the knees were kind of fine, but I was told that this stretches your ligaments out and it's hard on your back. By my dad, but for me, this is just, it helps so much. Make sure all the front parts of my legs are stretched out. See, and for me, I'm so inflexible that I was in a yoga class. I've only done a yoga class once, and they had you sit like this, and I was in so much pain I couldn't even sit.
Yeah,
and so I knew I had a problem.
Yeah.
So then the next one I go to for my lower back, because a lot of people have back problems, and there's been points where my back's gotten sore, and so I think having your back loose is always good. And I also think it's important to stretch your hamstrings. Mm-hmm. So it kind of kills two in one stone. I started off, just right about here, and every week you get a little bit more flexible until finally you can get a pretty good hamstring stretch and a really good back stretch. And then from there, we'll sometimes go forward and bring it back. Then I ran into the problem. I had those stretch going on for about 4 months, and my chiropractor friend was trying to fix my growing problem, And so while fixing that, he noticed my hamstrings were really tight, to the point where if I were to stretch myself, I couldn't get to right here. And so he wanted me to start stretching those out. So little by little, I'd stretch them out every day. And this was probably one of the longest ones.
What is the position?
Right here. Do one there. And so not be able to balance my back, so right here. And I'll do one more. This thing. So that, after a while, I couldn't feel that stretch as much, and since I'm spending time on that one, now what I'll do is I'll start here for about 5 or 10 seconds, and then I slowly work myself here,
Jeez.
and around the back.
Wow. It only took a year?
Oh, this one I started in August, and so yeah, that's been about 6 months. And then this is the easiest way to start here, kind of in that other stretch. And then I slowly bring my leg down.
Wow. Were you a naturally inflexible person, would you say, or would you say that
I was one of the most inflexible kids out of all my friends.
Really? Like, could you touch your toes?
No.
Okay.
No, I definitely couldn't touch my toes.
So that's encouraging for people starting out who think, oh, well, I'm just a naturally inflexible person.
Yeah.
Because you can get there.
Yeah. And
It takes time.
And I think the key for me has just been something I can do to maintain. Because you can stretch hard for like a week,
Yeah.
get all flexible, you stop for 3 days, and you're stiff again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is crazy.
And so I'll notice, like, if I don't stretch for 2 or 3 days, like, it's a lot harder to get into the stretch.
Yeah.
So that's why I try to keep it so short. Those are my stretching positions, pretty simple. And then I have a couple of stretches that I do that are with movement. So these are really wakeboard specific. First one I started out was for grabbing. I want to be flexible in my hips. And so I started out one day where I'd move side to side so I could stay low on my board and have flexibility so when I'm low, my hips know how to move that way, stretch my groins out. And then from there, I start dropping hips.
And we might see a shot of you doing that.
Yeah, exactly. And this has opened up so many doors, in the last year for different tricks, different tweaks.
Yeah.
Where my body normally wouldn't go.
Right.
Before I'd do the same trick and I'd be like this, and it looks cool, but it's another thing if you can get the board almost tucked up to your body, like the old Dogtown, the Z-Boys, where they
Dude, I just saw a shot of you that Kevin showed me, and I was like,
That's what I was talking about.
It looks like he's on a skateboard.
Yeah.
Oh, so for here I'll go about 20 seconds back and forth. And every day I just do that for like 20 seconds. And then after I'm done with those, I narrow my stance a little bit, kind of like I'm on a wakeboard, and just drop my legs little by little. I started off only going down to about here, because a lot of these side muscles weren't strong and I didn't want to hurt something. So after I work those stronger, go down a little bit deeper every day. And this also strengthens the outside of your legs here. We're wakeboarding, a lot of times we land forward, get pulled out the front.
So I blew my knee.
If you don't have that strength beforehand, where you're going over the front here,
Exactly how mine went.
and naturally your legs don't move like that.
Yeah.
That's why I just do little by little each day. So I'll do another 20-30 seconds here, where I'll go bring this knee forward, then the other. And it's just working a lot of different muscles, keeping flexibility.
Nice.
And then, you have a whole different another avenue for melons, stalefish, indies, mutes. It's just it's a lot of fun. It kind of opens so many new doors up.
No, but surely you can't do this after you eat.
Well, we just had Florida's not really known for their burritos. That's the second biggest burrito I've ever seen in my life, and it's from Florida. Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, yeah.
The other one was out in Claremont, the biggest one I've ever seen.
It's about a 6 pound.